Organizations that focus on saving marine life talks about how plastic is one of the worst things that you can use because of how much damage it does to the animals. And when you look up their website, about 99% of their webpage consists of why plastic is bad for the ocean and ways that you can substitute plastic out of your life. What these organizations are not telling you is that only 0.03% of the ocean is filled with plastic. Now, what garbage is in the rest of the percentage of the ocean? Well, that is fishing gear. About 46% of garbage in the ocean is nets. And the rest of it is, majority of it is fishing gear. About 250,000 sea turtles are captured, injured, or killed every year just in the US alone due to nets. And that's not surprising because the whole point of fishing nets is to capture and kill the sea life. The fishing industry's social and environmental injustice impact that has, no one talks about. And the main reason for that is because nobody knows about it. I personally did not know about what the fishing industry can do to the environment, to the sea life, to us, until I watched a movie about it on Netflix called Seaspiracy. And that's when I was educated about this topic, about how this is the industry that is harming and killing the animals more than plastic. I am very passionate about the environment. I'm always looking for ways to educate myself so I can educate others to be more environmental friendly. I too thought plastic was one of the worst things that could happen to the sea life. That's the only thing you would hear about. You would hear about how plastic straws are horrible for turtles. It was to a point where I bought my own reusable straw where I could carry around. Don't use regular cotton pads. I've switched to bamboo reusable cotton pads. When I go to the beach, I don't sit there and tan. I walk around and I pick up trash. And after watching Seaspiracy, I realized how harmful the fishing industry is, not just for the sea life, but for us as well. And that's something that nobody knows about. And this is what drove me and inspired me to do my project about this and to see how this relates to social theory. This ties in with the social theory because it explains how the fishing industry's structure has changed the way society functions throughout the years. Pierre Bourdieu asks the question, how are societies reproduced from one generation to the next such that social stability is preserved? And to tie that in with the fishing industry, I want to know how the fishing industry reproduces from one generation to the next such that social stability is preserved. Now, even if we consume less from this industry, society will change tremendously with ocean life. And one of the reasons why this industry keeps social stability preserved from each generation is the economic gain from this. And this is why so many countries keep this under wraps, because they know how much profit they are getting from this industry. For example, Asia uses fins just to show for wealth status. According to Seaspiracy, the fins have no taste and there's nothing special about them. Now, say if you want to catch a shark just for its fins and sell it to the Chinese markets, you would make so much profit because you're catching the shark and selling the fins to the markets. These fins are being sold to the wealthy Chinese, and of course they're going to pay a high price to have the fins in their dish just to show off their wealth. This is just shark fins. Imagine how much greater the economic growth would be for when you include whales, dolphins, and all different types of fish, and so much more, because there's so many species in the ocean that people part of this industry can catch and sell to the markets. The fishing industry does a great job on creating symbiotic struggles. Bourdieu defines symbiotic violence as a misrecognition of reality or distortion of underlying power relations. And due to our overconsumption of fish, people within the industry think that it would be a great idea to take our competition, which is the dolphins. In Japan, they gather dolphins into a cove to kill them. They are thinking that the more dolphins they kill, the more fish there's going to be. There are organizations like Earth Island Institute who gets paid to put a seal on the food saying that it's dolphin safe, which means 0 dolphins were harmed in the collection of getting the fish. They put up a distortion to the consumers, making they think every can on the shelf there was no dolphin's harm. This is necessarily not true. Even though sometimes there are observers on the boat, it is very easy for the observers to turn the other way. People who have higher status in the boats can easily abuse their power and trick people to come onto the boats and turn them into slaves. Even though all this happens, it somehow creates a social order within the industry. Organizations within this industry is perceived as legit because it is recognized as a certified sustainable seafood, which they're not. For example, the MSC Blue Tick is associated with bycatch. At least 50 million sharks are caught by bycatch. 40% of the marine life is caught in nets as bycatch. They claim the marine animals are accidentally caught, but that's not really the case. It's practically factored in by the economics. These vessels think they're exercising symbiotic power by telling their truth that it was an accident, and this forces the consumers to believe that their fish they're buying isn't making a negative impact to the environment or to the marine life.